The half then of the Galaxy twins, and this is Khaokor, who now the #1 WBA bantamweight challenger, and as I say, not only facially identical to his brother, but also style, trunks, the whole bit. It really is remarkable, and if he becomes world champion, I think there'll be photographed on as many angles as you could be imagined there. Beautifully built fighter also. Constancio Dangla from the Philippines. Looks as though similar to, actually he's the older brother by 3 hours. I'm sure that makes him. Not a lot of people know that, Jim. And he's certainly got the style, hasn't he, of Kalsai. So Kalsai and Khaokor are in trouble here. They really do look alike. Incredible.
It's amazing that they both box southpaw too. Everything similar. And as you see, with a similar style too, already it looks as though he likes to plant his feet and move in behind the punches and get power into the punches.
He's only gone to the 10 rounds course once by the Japanese Ozaki. 14 wins and 11 stoppages or KOs. The Filipino's no mug by the look of it. He's been around a bit. He's fought some good class opposition. They tend to freeze a bit in Bangkok, I must say. Well, I wonder if he's a bit more comfortable, Jim, at the 8 stone 6 division and not like the younger by 3 hours brother who's only 8 stone 3. It's hard to tell, really. They look so identical. Yeah,
it's too soon to tell just how much power he has, but he sets up like a powerful puncher. He doesn't look like a fancy Dan, does he? He looks as though he's really setting himself to let the good strong punches go.
He came into the Western pro style of boxing late too, only since the 1985. And he defeated the American Tony Pruitt in June. It was a good result. Pruitt was the American who knocked out Keith Wallace of Liverpool down in Gloucester at the Britain versus USA match. Same match incidentally, the fellow called Tyrell Biggs was on the show, defeated Adrian Elliott. Well, that'll start making a world mark for Khaokor Galaxy, now the WBA #1, because defeating Tony Pruitt was a good performance. As always with the Americans, you've got to beat a few of their fellows before the ratings committee really take notice of you. End of the first. And I must say, Jim, we've been around some funny ringsides, as they say. At least you had a good, clear bell there. There was no misunderstanding, wasn't it?
Yeah, I also noticed in the bouts we're watching with the Thai boys, very few clinches. We're always in punching range all the time, but we never see anything turning into a brawl. Good clean cut boxing we're having a chance to see.
Well, I suppose coming from the old kickboxing, they've got to make sure they stand off enough in case somebody puts the boot in. I imagine that was a bit dangerous if you start getting a bit too near. Could you imagine? Broken undercarriages at that game, I should have thought. So in a way, it's a bit of a relief for these, because when you've got hands and feet coming at you, Jim, this is a bit of a welcome. Fella got gloves on, being very nice to you.
Yeah, it's probably like a day off. This Galaxy seems to, good punch there. I was just going to say he seems to prefer body punching more than his brother does. But just as I'm saying that, he started headhunting. But he's been throwing some vicious left hands to the body here.
Good body swing. Watch that defense now, Galaxy. Just pulls away from a punch or blocks them. And knows how to counter. Waits for the lead and then lets the counter go. He almost did it there. They went to the body instead with that left hand. Not in the standard trade, though, the Filipinos, they often do. I should imagine it's a bit of an England-Scotland job, really, Jim, isn't it, with a Thailander and a Filipino out there?
Yeah, I would imagine so. They're certainly going at it as though they are. But Dangla is putting up not a bad show. He doesn't punch as hard as Galaxy, but he hasn't been intimidated. You know, he's standing his ground, firing back. He hasn't started trying to go on his bicycle. He's certainly brave enough, and he's trying to grab hold of the initiative here.
A fair variety of punch, Dangla, as well. As you were saying earlier, I mean, there's lots of body punches flying in there, and nobody's attempted to clinch.
No, but I don't think we haven't seen a clinch since the first bell. And they're always in punching distance too. A real cracking little match we've got here.
Awkward enough to combat the Thailanders' punch power, but Dangla at least trying to take a bit of the play away. I think they get a prize for the second who's first in the ring here. They really got a little ejector seats down there. And in replay, Jim, I think this is where the low punch goes in. Well, it's only borderline, I would have thought. But the referee's, yes, he's saying keep the punches up, but not stopping the action, and that as it should be. And it ignored him a bit, didn't he, the Filipino? He just landed one there that was a bit low. And into the third then, of this bantamweight scrap between the twin Galaxy. And I'm glad that that is an assumed name. It's not their long, almost unpronounceable name for a commentator anyway. Good body punching scrap this. You don't often get that at this weight. One thing, Jim, we know from these twins, they've got a bit of patience, haven't they? They can stand there and wait and say, I'll wait for my chance.
Yeah, that's a thing I admire about both of them. They're very good pressure fighters. They just stay there all the time. The good concentration is they just keep that steady pressure on the opponent and eventually try to wear them down. And I think it's safe to say Galaxy here, there was a punch bang on the chin, but hasn't troubled him in the slightest. That was a good punch Galaxy took there.
Well, it must be a spectacular couple, certainly for the media out there. I mean, this whole row of photographers there perched on the apron, probably get more space than Samantha Cox. They're really baying the whole crowd, Jim, aren't they? What an atmosphere that must be to fight in. You wouldn't have fancied that too much, would you?
No, it's not too bad in Scotland. I don't know if it's quite like this. That's the first time Dangla seemed to be maybe under a little bit too much pressure there, but here he comes firing back again. But that looked like the first time Galaxy started to get full control of the situation.
Yeah, well, of course, in Scotland it was baying for you. I meant if you were the underdog here, it wouldn't be too good, would it? I think they suddenly go quiet when the underdogs are winning, if he wins. Now, I'm very impressed with this, the Galaxy boys, and really, there's nothing to separate them either, I wouldn't have thought. I mean, it must be difficult for managers to say which one am I fighting, because technically there's no difference between them. They're both powerful, both do the business.
to give full credit to Dangla. He's taken some tremendous punches in this round, but he's still forcing himself back in there again. Brave little fellow.
Well, they need to really get some advice going for this lad here now. You know, tuck your head between the arms and then try and keep out of the way of the body punches. He's almost looking up at the round and the clock there, isn't he, as we come out for round 4. Galaxy, as if to say, well, you've had a good run, but this can't go on too long. My brother, he likes to win fights quickly, and I want to be with him. Oh, yes. It was inevitable there that he went over. It was straight and accurate and obviously hurtful, being warned to go to the neutral corner by the referee, obviously. And he didn't take up the count until he did. Good refereeing. Oh, what a punch, and the crowd know it, and certainly Dangla knows it at this stage. What a brave fellow though, Jim, isn't he?
Not half. A couple of signs in the previous round that there was going to be some sort of trouble, but now the difference in power is beginning to become pretty evident. With another good punch from Galaxy, but now we can really see the difference in power, and I don't really think Dangla can cope with it. There he goes over again.
Well, I mean, what a hard clip we could call that, but I mean, it's like a kick of a mule when he lets that punch go. Don't bother with the 3 knockdown rules in these contests as the WBA normally do in championship fights, and he just can't stand under that punch power at all, and he's got to stop it, the referee, rightly so. The seconds, we're in the ring in the 4th round, so Khaokor, Galaxy then, and the replay, Jim.
There's a lot of power there. The punch that finished, it wasn't a cracking punch, but there was no reason to allow Dangla to go on any longer.
The formidable Galaxy twins, and we leave you with Khaokor.
Are you sure about that, Reg?
Yes, he's the one that wears the belt.